$10.90 for a block of cheese, $4.23 for a couple of tomatoes, $3.70 for the cheap lettuce.
I'm trying not to laugh. I got a vegan eggplant sandwich. I paid $40, guys.
Has it just become normal to feel poor in Australia? Like, I went to Woolies today to buy some makeup because I wanted to save money and Mecca and stuff is a rip-off. So I was like, okay, sure, this is fine. Get to Woolies, start looking at the foundation, and it's like $35, $40 for drugstore foundation. I am nearly 27 years old and today I am moving back in with my parents.
So people from all around the world have been asking me how fucked the cost of living is part 3. Some give it to you. $9.50 for butter. Go fuck yourself.
What reality are 2 cucumbers this size, yeah, measly, worth $7 whole?
You ever wonder how people are surviving in Australia right now? Rent's through the roof. Groceries are borderline luxury items, and don't even get me started on coffee prices. $6 for a flat white? Come on. Whether you live there or you're thinking of moving, one thing's for sure, the cost of living in Australia has gotten brutal. In this video, we're breaking down what it actually costs to live in Australia in 2025, from housing, food, and transport to the little everyday stuff that adds up fast. So pack your bags or reconsider your life choices. Let's get into the numbers and the reality. And before we start this video, consider hit that like and subscribe button. Let's start with the first rant.
How the fuck are you supposed to survive in Australia on $20 an hour? I used to get paid $1,000 for the week of work I would do, and I wasn't able to save off that. Like, I don't know what you guys do to save if you just don't eat throughout the day or you just don't go out. But how are you supposed to enjoy yourself, be able to fucking maintain work and your life all at the same fucking time? Like, I think it's stupid that most people think it's okay to be getting paid $20 an hour. That's insanity. I don't want to come across as someone that is just trying to push a fucking course down your throat, because I've seen enough of them myself. But I'm documenting my journey here on my social media to show you guys me making money online so you guys can see that happen. If you want to follow along, and I'll show you that this shit is actually possible, because fuck working a 9 to 5.
I'm not even going to say anything. I ordered smashed avo. And that is exactly what I got. I'm trying not to laugh. I got a vegan eggplant sandwich. I paid $40, guys. $40. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Maybe it tastes amazing, but...
Now, I'm not one to get political, but the cost of living crisis is getting out of control, and it didn't really hit me until I came to my local barber in Campsie, where haircuts are now $10. I've been getting my fade here from a lovely Chinaman since they were $7 haircuts, and I copped the price increase to $8 in 2022, but since then the price has skyrocketed from $9 haircuts to now $10 haircuts in 2025. With the election on this year, Albo Dudden, if you want to get my vote, how about we address the cost of living for Aussies and the cost of a fade here in Sydney, because $10 for a haircut is outrageous. Back to you in the studio.
Count your fucking days, Coles, because in what reality are 2 cucumbers this size, yeah, measly, worth $7 whole? Have you lost your mind? I just went and did, not even a grocery shop, I just went and got like noodles, soy sauce, the fucking $1 million cucumbers apparently, tofu, $60. A few other bits and pieces, but like $60. It's cheaper for me to order out, takeout for 2 whole people with sides than what it is to go and get like bare minimum groceries. And isn't that because the CEO is busy taking home like $40 million a year?
I am nearly 27 years old and today I am moving back in with my parents. This is not the plan I had for 27-year-old me, but that is just how bad the rental crisis is at the moment. I've been living on my own for the last 3 years. When I first started living on my own, I was paying $280 a week in rent. It was actually kind of fine to pay rent on my own, and I've never had like an outstanding salary. The reason why I'm moving back in with my parents is because my landlord wanted to increase my rent now to $450 a week. Now, I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment in an old building. It's nothing flash. Sure, I live in a good suburb. I live in Malvern. I'm probably just paying for location, but I have to pay to do my laundry. There's cracks in the walls. Like, it's nothing flashy. Like, it's not worth $450 a week. That's like $2,000 a month. What are people supposed to do? I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful that I can move back in with my parents, but not everyone can do that. So what's your alternative? Like, you're homeless? The thing that really grinds my gears is that I am 99% sure that my landlord does not have a mortgage on this place, so that can't even be an excuse for landlords on here. She's owned this place since about 1980, and I know for a fact she has 2 investment properties. So she's just making money off what she can from the market. And I was like, there is no way I can afford this. And I have been an outstanding tenant, like outstanding. Rent's never been late. My inspections are always absolutely spotless. I've never caused any issues. And this is why my generation can't get ahead, why we can't buy houses. Like, I've been paying 20 grand a year in rent, but if I went to go get a house loan, they wouldn't see that as, oh, she can pay 20 grand a year. No, I have no savings because of how much I've been paying in rent and bills. That's why my parents were like, move home, you know, save that money and try and get ahead. Like, I'm so grateful. I love my family, and I don't have any issues moving back home with them. I do have an issue with the fact that they live over the other side of Geelong, and I'm still going to be traveling to Melbourne for work. So that's going to be so much fun. But what do people do? I'm so lucky I have such a great family that I can move back in with. But what's the alternative? Homelessness? Like, the government really needs to get on top of this, because honestly, the state of the rental market at the moment is absolutely fucked.
Is anyone else in Australia kind of like, what's the point? If you're maybe like in your 20s, your 30s, and you're not being given things by your parents, and you've gone to uni, finished school, gone to uni, got a degree, which was meant to get you a good job, and that job was meant to pay for a house and maybe a holiday once a year, and maybe you'd have some kids, and that's like not happening now, and you're kind of just like, what's the actual point of anything? Like, I'm 28 and I kind of thought by now, like, I might have like a 3-bedroom house, maybe like thinking about kids, maybe successful in my career. The screaming you can hear behind me is my landlord's fucking grandkids, because my landlords live right behind me and I live in a tiny fuck-ass studio. And no, I don't live in Melbourne or Sydney. I moved regional to try and save money, and there's no jobs out here. Anyway, it's kind of just made me reassess my whole life. Like, what am I doing? Should I just go traveling? Is the world going to blow up in like 10 years and none of it matters anyway? Like, what's the general attitude? Because I'm a pretty like A-type person, like to plan everything. I'm just kind of feeling like, fuck it. Like, should I just do what makes me happy? Like, I don't know. Like, what are you guys doing? What are we doing?
Is the cost of living like in Australia compared to England? Today I'm going to do the full breakdown of the prices and everything here in Australia and how much it is more than the UK. So I've been in Gold Coast for about 4 months now, and to be honest, like, overall Australia is a bit more expensive than England, but it's not as much as you think it is. It's not like double the price of England. Like, you get paid a lot higher wage here. You get paid like minimum like £15 an hour here, when England is like £9 I think right now, like £9.13. Grocery shopping is pretty similar to England. Like, there are a lot of things that are more expensive, like cheese for example, that's like $10, which is a lot more. But like all the standard stuff like meat is probably cheaper, and even like living and renting on flatmates is like cheaper than anywhere in England too. The best way I can describe it is you can work 30 hours here and live the same life than if you're working 50 to 60 hours in England, but then you have like an extra 20-30 hours more free time to do whatever the fuck you want here. Do not be put off by the TikToks that you see of other people saying bad things about Australia. Yeah, Australia isn't for everybody, but there is a place in Australia that will suit you. You just need to pick the right place, and you need to go with the right group of people, and you need to be ready to leave everything else behind in England. If you've got any more questions, let me know.
So people from all around the world have been asking me how fucked the cost of living is part 3. Some give it to you. $9.50 for butter. Go fuck yourself. $9.90 for a fucking 3-litre milk. You're off your head. $16 for a fucking piece of fish. Fuck off. $10 for a block of cheese. You're off your head. These chocolates are $16. What a fucking rip-off. $28 for a fucking egg.
Cost of living out here in Australia is crazy. Let me show you. 30 cans of Coke for $50. This block of cheese, nearly $14. $4.90 on offer for chocolate. No thanks. $7 just for some milk. How am I going to survive out here?
The cost of living is actually fucked. She's $8.50, and that's on special. $10 for a block of cheese. What is that? That's for 30 cans of Coke. Are you serious? How do you live these days?
Are you fucking serious? I just went to a cafe this morning in Melbourne, Australia, and I paid $45 for 2 eggs on toast and avocado on the side. And earlier this year, I was in Bali, and it was like $10 to $15 for the same thing. Like, how are you even meant to live right now with the rising cost of living and inflation in Australia and work a normal job where you're earning $40,000 to $100,000 a year? Like, money just isn't the same anymore. $40,000 to $100,000 a year on a salary or working on an hourly rate, it just isn't the same as what it was 5 years ago. The inflation is crazy right now, and things are just way more expensive than what they should be. It's just like ridiculous. I know there's so many people living paycheck to paycheck. They got smashed by the pandemic. So many people unemployed because they didn't want to take the jab. And just people that are barely have any money right now, more than whatever I've seen before. It's just ridiculous. Things shouldn't cost this much money.
$10.90 for a block of cheese. $4.23 for a couple of tomatoes. $3.70 for the cheap lettuce. $3.60 for literally the supermarket brand cheapest wholemeal bread. $6 for a plain packet of butter. That is $28.43 just to make a plain sandwich. No meat, just cheese, tomatoes and lettuce. Our community is doing it tough every day at the checkout. And what is this government actually doing about it? Apparently not a thing. They know what the problems are. Still, nothing. The government needs to break up Coles and Woolworths. These massive corporations are making millions in profits while people have to make the choice between starve or pay their exorbitant rent. Now, one of the reasons Coles and Woolworths gets away with ripping us off is because either directly or through third parties, they donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Liberal and Labour parties in the last decade alone. Well, look where that has got us. $28 just to make a sandwich.
Has it just become normal to feel poor in Australia? Like, I went to Woolies today to buy some makeup because I wanted to save money and Mecca and stuff is a rip-off. So I was like, okay, sure, this is fine. Get to Woolies, start looking at the foundation, and it's like $35, $40 for drugstore foundation. I was like, what is going on? Am I just like, why am I poor all of a sudden? Why is this so freaking expensive? And then I'm like, okay, how long would it take me to work to be able to afford this? Now, for context, I'm 21. I have a full-time job. I'm just finishing uni. I'm not a slacker. I'm smart. I've got a good job. I'm probably earning like an average salary. It would take me, after tax, superannuation, and HEX debt repayments, over 2 hours of work for me to be able to afford a single bottle of foundation from Woolies. What the heck? And then I had a crisis and I was like, am I poor? Like, why do I feel like I'm not able to buy stuff that I used to be perfectly fine to buy on a regular basis. I started digging into the data and I found out that in the last 2 years, our real wages, so that's what we're actually earning once you like deduct inflation, because that actually means you're not able to actually buy anymore, it's just inflation. Our real wages have dropped 9% in the last 2 years. That's why I feel freaking poor.
So, yeah, living in Australia in 2025 isn't just expensive, it's starting to feel almost unreal. For a lot of people, it's not just about cutting back on little luxuries. It's about choosing between rent and groceries, or staying in the city versus moving out to the middle of nowhere just to afford a normal life. And it's not just students or young adults feeling it. Families, immigrants, even people with full-time jobs are struggling to keep up. But the more we talk about this, the more we understand it, and maybe, just maybe, we can push for change or find smarter ways to live around it. So let me know in the comments, what's the most expensive thing you've noticed in Australia lately? Or if you're thinking of moving there, what surprised you the most? And hey, if this video helped you, made you think, or just gave you something real to relate to, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on more content like this. Thanks for watching, stay sharp out there, and I'll see you in the next one.